Since its inception in 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, has stood as a bulwark of Western security. Formed in the shadow of World War II, NATO's primary purpose was to deter Soviet aggression and prevent the spread of communism in Europe. The alliance, founded on the principle of collective defense enshrined in Article 5, has been a cornerstone of global security for over 75 years. The United States, as a founding member, has played a pivotal role in shaping NATO's strategic direction and providing the lion's share of its military might. NATO's mission evolved after the Cold War, expanding its scope to address emerging security challenges. These include international terrorism, cyber warfare, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The alliance has also played a crucial role in crisis management and peacekeeping operations in the Balkans, Afghanistan, and other regions. The US commitment to NATO has been unwavering for decades, providing military and financial support. This commitment has been instrumental in maintaining peace and stability in Europe. However, recent debates within the US about the costs and benefits of its NATO membership have raised questions about the future of the alliance. Some argue that the US bears a disproportionate share of the burden, both financially and militarily. They believe that European nations should take on greater responsibility for their own defense. These arguments have gained traction in recent years, particularly in light of other pressing domestic issues facing the US. Since its inception in 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, has stood as a bulwark of Western security. Formed in the shadow of World War II, NATO's primary purpose was to deter Soviet aggression and prevent the spread of communism in Europe. The alliance, founded on the principle of collective defense enshrined in Article 5, has been a cornerstone of global security for over 75 years. The United States, as a founding member, has played a pivotal role in shaping NATO's strategic direction and providing the lion's share of its military might. NATO's mission evolved after the Cold War, expanding its scope to address emerging security challenges. These include international terrorism, cyber warfare, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The alliance has also played a crucial role in crisis management and peacekeeping operations in the Balkans, Afghanistan, and other regions. The US commitment to NATO has been unwavering for decades, providing military and financial support. This commitment has been instrumental in maintaining peace and stability in Europe. However, recent debates within the US about the costs and benefits of its NATO membership have raised questions about the future of the alliance. Some argue that the US bears a disproportionate share of the burden, both financially and militarily. They believe that European nations should take on greater responsibility for their own defense. These arguments have gained traction in recent years, particularly in light of other pressing domestic issues facing the US. The United States has consistently been the largest financial contributor to NATO. In 2025, the US defense budget stands at a staggering $850 billion. A significant portion of this budget is allocated to NATO operations and troop deployments across Europe. Historically, the US has contributed around 22% of NATO's direct funding, covering costs for infrastructure, joint exercises, and operational expenses. NATO members are expected to allocate at least 2% of their GDP to defense spending. However, many European nations have consistently fallen short of this target. The Trump administration was vocal in its demands for increased defense spending from European allies. Some European nations like Poland and the Baltic states have increased their defense budgets. Others, like Germany, have been slower to meet their commitments. This disparity has created tensions within the alliance. Since NATO's inception in 1949, the US has played a pivotal role in shaping its strategic direction and ensuring its operational readiness. The United States military brings unparalleled capabilities to NATO, including advanced weaponry, intelligence sharing, and strategic command and control. A US withdrawal would leave a gaping hole in NATO's defenses, potentially jeopardizing the security of Europe. One of the most significant concerns is the weakening of NATO's nuclear deterrent. The US provides the nuclear umbrella for Europe, deterring potential adversaries from using or threatening to use nuclear weapons against NATO members. Without the US nuclear umbrella, some European nations might feel compelled to develop their own nuclear weapons capabilities, potentially leading to a more volatile security environment. Beyond nuclear deterrence, the US military provides a wide range of essential capabilities, including air and missile defense, cyber warfare capabilities, and special operations forces. The loss of these capabilities would significantly degrade NATO's ability to respond to crises and deter aggression. European nations would struggle to replace the US military's technological sophistication and global reach. While some European countries have advanced militaries, they lack the full spectrum of capabilities that the US provides. Experts suggest that a US withdrawal could embolden adversaries like Russia, leading to increased military provocations and instability in the region. In a worst-case scenario, NATO might struggle to respond effectively to a coordinated attack, resulting in significant territorial and strategic losses. European nations would need to significantly increase their defense budgets and enhance military cooperation to fill the void left by the US. However, experts agree that replicating the full spectrum of US military capabilities would be a monumental challenge, requiring years of investment and development. The potential for a US withdrawal from NATO raises fundamental questions about the future of European defense. Without the security blanket of US protection, European nations would be forced to reassess their strategic priorities and invest heavily in their own defense capabilities. This would require a level of unity and political will that has often been elusive in Europe. Some analysts believe that a US withdrawal from NATO could paradoxically lead to a stronger, more cohesive European defense structure. Faced with a common threat, European nations might finally be compelled to overcome their divisions and forge a genuine common defense policy. This would involve increased defense spending, closer military cooperation, and potentially even the creation of a European army. However, others are skeptical that Europe can achieve strategic autonomy without the United States. They argue that historical rivalries, economic disparities, and differing national interests would continue to hinder European integration. Without the US as a catalyst and guarantor of security, Europe could become more vulnerable to external pressures and internal divisions. The uncertainty surrounding the future of European defense has profound implications for global security. A weaker, divided Europe would embolden adversaries like Russia and China, potentially leading to a more unstable and dangerous world. In response, Europe might seek to form new alliances, perhaps strengthening ties with countries like the UK, Canada, and Australia. Additionally, Europe could explore innovative defense strategies, such as cyber defense initiatives and advanced technological collaborations. These efforts would aim to create a more resilient and self-sufficient European defense framework capable of addressing modern threats independently. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was established on April 4, 1949 with the signing of the Washington Treaty. The founding members included the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations. Over the years, NATO has expanded to include 30 member countries. These countries are committed to mutual defense and collective security, ensuring peace and stability in the North Atlantic region. The origins of NATO lie in the aftermath of World War II, when the world was grappling with the devastation of the conflict and the looming threat of the Soviet Union. The alliance was a response to the need for a unified defense strategy to deter aggression and promote democratic values. Over the decades, NATO has adapted to changing global dynamics, addressing new security challenges such as terrorism, cyber threats, and regional conflicts. NATO's ability to evolve and expand demonstrates its enduring relevance in a complex and ever-changing world. The alliance's commitment to collective defense, enshrined in Article 5 of the Washington Treaty, has only been invoked once, in the wake of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States. This act of solidarity underscores the strength of the alliance and its unwavering dedication to the principle that an attack on one is an attack on all. As we look to the future, NATO's role remains crucial. The alliance continues to serve as a stabilizing force, fostering cooperation among member nations and addressing emerging threats. In an increasingly interconnected world, NATO's mission of collective security and mutual defense is more important than ever. One of the first major tests for NATO came during the Berlin blockade in 1948 to 1949, which led to the Berlin airlift, a massive effort by Western allies to supply West Berlin amidst Soviet blockades. In 1952, NATO conducted its first major military exercise, Operation Mainbrace, demonstrating its capability to mobilize and defend against potential threats. The alliance expanded in 1952 to include Greece and Turkey, further solidifying its presence in the Mediterranean and enhancing its strategic reach. NATO's strategic importance was further highlighted during the Korean War, where member nations coordinated efforts to support South Korea against communist aggression. As the Cold War ended, NATO adapted to new global threats, including regional conflicts and cyber warfare, ensuring its continued relevance in the 21st century. The USA may consider leaving NATO due to various reasons such as financial burdens, shifting geopolitical priorities, or domestic political pressures. If the USA were to leave NATO, it would have significant implications for the alliance. European countries would need to increase their defense spending and take on a larger role in maintaining security. Countries like Germany, France, and the UK might step up to fill the void left by the USA, but the overall military capability of NATO would be diminished without the American contribution. The departure of the USA would not only affect the military strength of NATO, but also its political cohesion. The leadership and influence that the USA brings to the table are integral to the alliance's decision-making processes and strategic direction. Moreover, the withdrawal could embolden adversaries, potentially destabilizing the geopolitical landscape. Economically, the departure could lead to increased defense budgets for European nations, straining their economies and potentially leading to cuts in other public services. The USA's exit might also shift global trade dynamics as countries reassess their alliances and economic partnerships. This could lead to increased security threats for NATO member countries. As NATO navigates these uncertainties, the solidarity and commitment of its member nations will be tested. The future of the alliance will depend on the ability of its members to adapt, collaborate, and uphold the principles of collective defense that have defined NATO for over 7 decades. In an interconnected and volatile world, the significance of NATO's mission remains paramount. The alliance's resilience and adaptability will be crucial in addressing the challenges that lie ahead, ensuring peace and stability for generations to come. If the USA were to exit NATO, it could trigger a domino effect, prompting other countries to reconsider their membership in the alliance. The political, economic, and military implications of such a scenario would be profound. Politically, the departure of the USA could lead to a crisis of confidence within NATO. Smaller member states, reliant on the assurance of American support, might feel vulnerable and question the viability of the alliance. Countries like Turkey, with its strategic ties and complex relationship with NATO, might explore alternative security arrangements, potentially aligning more closely with non-Western powers. Economically, the financial burden of maintaining defense capabilities would become more pronounced for remaining NATO members. Countries already grappling with economic challenges might struggle to justify increased defense spending to their populations. This could lead to internal political strife and a reevaluation of their commitment to collective defense. Militarily, the absence of the USA, a cornerstone of NATO's military strength, would create significant gaps in the alliance's capabilities. European countries would need to ramp up their defense budgets and possibly form new coalitions to address security concerns. However, the lack of American military technology, intelligence, and logistical support would be a considerable setback. Historical precedents provide insights into the potential fallout. For instance, the dissolution of the Warsaw Pact in the early 1990s saw a rapid realignment of Eastern European countries' security policies. Expert opinions suggest that a similar realignment could occur within NATO, with some countries potentially seeking neutrality or forming new alliances to safeguard their interests. In conclusion, while the departure of the USA from NATO would be a significant blow, the potential for other countries to follow suit could fundamentally alter the geopolitical landscape. The alliance's future would hinge on the remaining members' ability to adapt, collaborate, and uphold the principles that have sustained NATO for decades. The resilience and unity of NATO will be tested as it navigates these uncertain times, striving to maintain peace and stability in an ever-changing world. France, with its history of independent military policies, might reconsider its role within NATO, potentially seeking a more autonomous defense strategy. Germany, facing internal political pressures and a strong pacifist sentiment, could also be a candidate for re-evaluating its NATO membership. Italy, grappling with economic challenges and political instability, might find it difficult to justify the financial commitments required by NATO. Spain, with its regional independence movements and economic concerns, could also be influenced to reconsider its NATO membership. The departure of these key members would further strain the alliance, necessitating a re-evaluation of NATO's structure and objectives. Ultimately, the future of NATO would depend on the remaining members' ability to adapt, collaborate, and uphold the principles that have sustained the alliance for decades. As NATO faces the potential departure of the USA and possibly other member countries, the question arises, could BRICS step in to fill the void left by the alliance? The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, represent a significant portion of the world's population and economic output. Collectively, they possess substantial military capabilities and have been increasingly influential on the global stage. Economically, the BRICS countries have shown impressive growth and resilience. China and India in particular are among the world's fastest-growing major economies, while Russia and Brazil hold vast natural resources. The combined GDP of the BRICS nations rivals that of the major Western economies, positioning them as potential leaders in a new global order. Militarily, the BRICS nations bring diverse and powerful capabilities. Russia and China have formidable armed forces, with advanced technology and significant defense budgets. India too has a rapidly modernizing military and a strategic position in South Asia. Brazil and South Africa, while less dominant militarily, contribute regional stability and strategic depth. However, the transition from NATO to a BRICS-centric security framework would not be without challenges. One major hurdle is the differing geopolitical interests and historical tensions among BRICS members. For instance, the long-standing rivalry between China and India could complicate unified military strategies. Additionally, the political systems and governance styles of BRICS countries vary widely, potentially leading to coordination issues. Structurally, NATO is a formal military alliance with a unified command structure and collective defense agreements. In contrast, BRICS is primarily an economic and political grouping without a formal military alliance. The BRICS nations could foster new forms of international cooperation, focusing on mutual development and regional stability. Their diverse perspectives might lead to innovative solutions to global security challenges. In conclusion, while BRICS has the economic and military potential to emerge as a new global power bloc, replacing NATO would require overcoming significant internal and external challenges. The future of global security may well depend on how these nations navigate their differences and leverage their strengths to create a cohesive and effective alliance. As the world watches, the potential for a BRICS-led security framework remains an intriguing and complex possibility. As NATO faces an evolving global landscape, the alliance must consider strategies to attract new member countries. Expanding NATO's reach can bolster collective security and enhance diplomatic relations worldwide. But how can NATO entice more nations to join its ranks? First, diplomatic efforts play a crucial role. NATO can engage in high-level dialogues with potential member countries, highlighting the benefits of alliance membership. By fostering strong diplomatic ties, NATO can build trust and mutual understanding, making the prospect of joining the alliance more appealing. Military collaborations are another key strategy. Joint exercises, training programs, and defense partnerships can showcase NATO's military prowess and the advantages of collective defense. These collaborations not only enhance interoperability but also demonstrate NATO's commitment to the security of its members. Economic incentives can also be a powerful draw. NATO can offer financial support for defense modernization, infrastructure development, and economic aid to potential member countries. By providing tangible economic benefits, NATO can make a compelling case for membership. The benefits of collective security cannot be overstated. Joining NATO means access to a robust defense network, advanced military technology, and the assurance of mutual defense under Article 5 of the NATO Treaty. This security umbrella can be a significant motivator for countries seeking stability and protection. In summary, NATO's strategies to attract new members involve a blend of diplomatic efforts, military collaborations, and economic incentives. By emphasizing the benefits of collective security, NATO can expand its influence and strengthen global stability. Additionally, enhancing cybersecurity collaborations can be a significant draw. By offering joint cyber defense initiatives and training, NATO can help nations protect their digital infrastructure. Humanitarian aid and disaster relief operations also present opportunities for collaboration. By participating in these efforts, NATO can demonstrate its commitment to global stability and humanitarian values. Finally, fostering technological innovation through research partnerships can attract technologically advanced nations. By collaborating on cutting-edge technologies, NATO can stay ahead of emerging threats and offer valuable resources to its members. As NATO navigates the complexities of modern global security, the United States has made its expectations clear regarding the role of its allies within the alliance. What exactly does the US want NATO countries to do? First and foremost, financial contributions have been a significant point of emphasis. The US has consistently urged NATO member nations to meet the defense spending target of 2% of their GDP. This commitment ensures that all members share the financial burden of collective defense. Recent statements from US officials have reiterated the importance of equitable financial contributions to maintain and enhance NATO's operational capabilities. Military commitments are another crucial aspect. The US expects NATO allies to contribute more troops and resources to joint missions and exercises. By doing so, member countries can demonstrate their dedication to collective security and enhance the alliance's overall military readiness. The US has highlighted the need for increased participation in NATO's Rapid Reaction Force and other strategic initiatives to address emerging threats. Political support is equally important. The US calls for strong political backing from NATO members to ensure unified decision-making and effective response to global challenges. This includes supporting sanctions, diplomatic measures, and other collective actions that align with NATO's strategic objectives. Recent policies from the US administration have stressed the importance of solidarity and cohesion among NATO allies in the face of geopolitical tensions. In summary, the United States expects NATO countries to step up their financial contributions, enhance their military commitments, and provide robust political support. By meeting these expectations, NATO can continue to be a formidable force for global security and stability. The US also emphasizes the need for transparency in defense spending to ensure that funds are effectively utilized. This includes regular audits and reports to track progress and address any discrepancies. Additionally, the US encourages NATO allies to invest in modernizing their military capabilities to keep pace with evolving threats. This involves upgrading equipment, enhancing cyber defenses, and developing new technologies to maintain a strategic edge. By focusing on these areas, NATO can ensure it remains a robust and adaptive alliance capable of addressing both current and future security challenges. If Russia were to attack a NATO member, there could be significant hesitation among certain NATO countries to get involved. Factors such as political alliances, economic dependencies, and military capabilities would play a crucial role in their decision-making process. Countries with strong economic ties to Russia, like Germany and Italy, might be more reluctant to engage in direct conflict. Economic considerations, including trade relations and energy dependencies, could weigh heavily on their decisions. These nations might seek diplomatic solutions or mediation efforts before committing to military action. Additionally, nations with smaller military forces or those already facing internal political challenges could also hesitate. For instance, countries with limited defense budgets or ongoing domestic issues may find it challenging to mobilize their troops and resources for a NATO-led response. This chapter will explore these dynamics and the potential impact on NATO's collective defense strategy. We'll delve into how individual member states' political landscapes and economic interests could influence their willingness to fulfill Article 5, which states that an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all. Moreover, we'll consider the role of NATO's Rapid Reaction Force and other strategic initiatives in ensuring a swift and unified response. The importance of maintaining a cohesive front and the challenges of achieving consensus among diverse member nations will be examined. In summary, while NATO's principle of collective defense is fundamental, the reality of political and economic complexities could lead to varied responses in the face of a Russian attack. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for assessing the alliance's ability to effectively counter such a threat and maintain global security.